26 Charlie Tango 1017 1017 listening. Morning, afternoon or evening, YouTube land. I've gained yet a new subscriber. It's gone up by a 1. A noise in the background as usual is my fan heater. There won't be much activity on the radio because it's quite late at night. Actually, it's nearly 10 to 1 in the morning. And my watch says it's the 23rd. This is the day when we wake up that this storm is forecast. Doris, I believe Doris, as in Delta Oscar Romeo India Sierra, Doris, Storm Doris. I haven't heard too much on the radio about it other than very strong winds, possibly snow. Well, snow in Scotland. I'm in the Midlands, but snow in Scotland in the northeast as well. Anyhow is a common word I seem to use when I'm editing my video, so I've got to try and cut the anyhows out, so I apologise for that. I've been and bought another radio tonight. I haven't had to wait for this one to come in the post. I've known about it for a while. I have owned various guises of this radio, the Uni-Ace 300. I bought it off a friend down the road, Adrian. Tango Mike 2121, he did tell me a while ago he was going to sell it or do a deal, so I bought it off him. As usual, whichever way you want to look at it, it's been spoilt or molested by having the mid-block in, and the stickers are there to say which button it's on. I can't give you a very good demonstration of it in action because it's, as I say, it's 10 to 1 in the morning. My local people that I talk to come on any time in the next half an hour. But I thought before they came on, rather than turn the volume down and etc. Comparing it to the middle and there below, the squelch is a lot softer. It doesn't go with it when somebody talks and breaks the squelch. It doesn't go with a loud thumping sound, which is a bit annoying on that thing really. For such an expensive, when new radio, bit crappy that the way the squelch is. It makes a horrible sound when the squelch breaks on it. Hear this, look, when you're on the edge. Here it goes, thump, da-dum, bump, that. It really gets up your wick after a while. They definitely should have put a soft squelch on that one. This one doesn't suffer with that. Lovely and smooth when somebody breaks the squelch. It should, maybe, have had a SWR meter built into it. That would be nice, maybe. I have had one or two of these radios before. In fact, I've owned one in the last 5 years, so I'm informed by my friend Tim. He tends to remember all the radios better than I do that I've owned. I've had the audio line version of this, which has chrome effect knobs, round ones as opposed to flat edge ones. Same meter, same layout, but more chrome on the fascia as opposed to black and sort of a dark green colour this bit is. Don't know how the camera's going to pick that up. But either way, I sweet talk the wife and says, oh, I've got a bit of money, can you lend me some money towards buying me this radio, and blah blah. She don't know nothing about radio, she's not that interested. So, yeah, of course I will. Well, there you go. I think she was in a good mood tonight, so yeah, I didn't have any problems prizing some money out of her. So I went down and bought this. But before I went, I said, oh, I've had one of these radios before, 3 houses ago, or 2 houses ago, because we've moved a lot in our marriage during the, I don't know, is it 14 years we've been married, 12 years? Yeah, I don't know. That's not really there, is it? But anyway, I said, I'll tell you what, I'll go on eBay, I'll show you a picture of one. So I went on eBay. Now, whether this person has put this radio for sale, not this one here, but basically I typed in Uniden Homebase, and the Uniden Homebase didn't come up. Another radio came up. I've got to be careful here with my camera because it looks like I've got some kind of Parkinson's disease, and yet I'm holding this camera very steady. Whether YouTube's compressing the video and giving it this, I'll show you what it was doing the other day. One of my videos was doing this, and I thought, that ain't me doing that. That was me just doing it, obviously, but anyhow, I'm doing it again, aren't I? Apologies. I tried to find one of these radios to show the wife a picture of it, and it didn't come up. A picture of another home-based radio come up that I have owned many years ago and thought was the biggest load of rubbish that money could buy. and I had it for a very short period, probably for about 3 weeks, a month, and got shut of it. However, they've got a certain charm, these particular radios. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. It is a home-based plug in the wall, 40 channel CB, and this one looks, till I unbox it, till I can see it in the flesh, because these pictures that you do see, whether it's a car you're looking at or whatever it is, sometimes in the flesh are a lot worse than the picture showed them to be, or sometimes they're much better and you're sort of delighted. However, this one, it's got the original box, the original receipt of sale. The microphone looked like brand spanking new in a plastic packet. It had the side pieces to pack it away in its original, the polystyrene blocks which fit on the side of the radio for its original box, the original instructions, everything. And the description didn't say it works fine, it basically says unable to test as I haven't got an aerial, but did plug it in and the light came on. Now that's open to, it says no returns as well, so if it doesn't work then you're in doo-doo land, because it's not like you can ask for your money back. But hopefully I'll be pleasantly surprised, and this is, it looks to be as mint as you could get one if you went back 35 years and bought one brand new. And I've looked around on YouTube, and I did find something relevant to when they were new, and somebody seems to think they're about 149 quid, which is pretty cheap when you compare it to this Midland at the bottom here there, which was 369 quid. So I'm going to be interested to review that radio. I'm going to be really interested. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'll give you a clue if you know anything about CB and you've been on them for a long time like I have. I'll tell you the colour of it, and that might give it away, but it might not. It's silver. Don't anybody in the comments box say Murphy Home Base, because I've already got one of those, and that is silver, admittedly. I could show you, but it's behind me. But it wasn't so much a review on this radio. It's got very good audio. When I've heard Adrian speak on it, it's got a lovely audio for a standard microphone. It's pretty dead here at the moment, because it's, as I say, it is very late at night. It's 5 to 1 in the morning on the 23rd, which will now be Thursday. It's Wednesday night still to me. Now look, that sort of interference I get. And I'm also going to have to make some adjustments in my man cave, because it's like the tower in Inferno. This is like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, this lot. Excuse me. Last night I decided I was going to bolt my little radio. I will show you it. Hopefully, if I can turn it on. Why would that not turn on? Why does nothing ever go right when you're doing a video? I'll tell you something. Hang on. Is that you there, Andy? He can't pick me up very well from where he lives. Let's try again. Is that you there, Andy? I think sometimes he keys up just to let people know that he's there. Hey up, we've got some activity down there. Hope it's not a rat coming through the wall. Still, I've got my video camera handy. Yes, there's definitely something going on in the corner there. That's it. This is another story I'll get onto, is my man cave. Cost me £1,000 and it wasn't constructed to how I wanted it to be. Excuse me. Part 2. I'll just give the wall a bit of a bashing. I've actually got a cavity between two bits of wood, and it's sterling board. There's Tony. I'll be with you shortly, Tony. I think Andy's out there somewhere. I did hear his bleep about 1 minute ago. I don't know if he's talking or just keying up just to say he's ear wigging, but I will be with you shortly.
Yeah, alright then, Shane, no problem.
That's my mate Tony. I haven't spoken to him for a few evenings. This is when the crew, I think the vampires, they come on at 1 o'clock in the morning. I reckon they must just the coffin. They must have just opened the coffin lid and sat up and turned the CB on. That's Tony. He's retired, so I'm not supposed to got a lot to do, has he? Right, getting back to what I was saying before some rodent was in the cavity between the two pieces of wood. I got this CRT 2000. I bought it brand new for £115. It's got several blocks on it. I won't do a full. There is a video on this actually. It goes from band A to band J. It doesn't go that low. I think it starts at something like 26965 and it goes right up to 30, almost 30 megahertz into the amateur band. 3 power settings, 4, 8 and 15 or 16. 5 different Roger bleeps. Fantastic. I'll tell you now, this is my view. Anybody who buys one of these and moans, it's a very small radio. There's my hand. My hand's massive compared to that. It really is small, look. That's the end of my finger. Right, if you chop my hands off on my thumb, the actual what's left of my hand would be the size of the radio. For something so small, very impressive for 115 quid. And I did read somewhere that somebody bought one for £99, brand new. How can you moan for that sort of money? Ideal mobile radio, which is what I bought it for, but I don't go mobile very often this weather, in this winter and everything, so it'll get some stick in the summer. I shall take it somewhere. But little TFT colour display, look. 5 Roger bleeps, about 10 different blocks of frequency, scan. It tells you the voltage, so if you're in your car and you sat there with the engine off, you keep your eye on that and you know when your battery's about to die on you. Yeah, bloody good, excuse the French, good piece of equipment. Very impressed for that sort of money. But anyway, getting back to this radio. It's a Uniden, so it's got a Uniden board. Years and years ago, this one Cybernet board, that's shared, the board in this radio is shared by many other 40 channel rigs that people would take mobile. Usually there was a brigade of people that swore by Unidens because it's a totally different board, totally different characteristics. Some people said they were deaf. They were never really deaf, it's just that the needle was never that lively. You might hear somebody on this radio on a £1, but he sounds very clear and loud. But on the Midland home base he might give you a £6. So some people years ago looked at the Unidens and the audio lines, the Uniden based boards, chassis, as they were deaf for that reason, but they weren't really deaf. I don't think anyway. The sensitivity and selectivity of them was as good as any. In fact, channel rejection was very good on them. If you had a close neighbour who was probably pushing a bit of power, it might only bleed one channel either side of the channel you're on, whereas certain Cybernet boards it might totally wipe you out. Not many places suffer with them kind of problems, especially where I live. There's not that many people on, so you can get any old rig these days that'll work wonderfully. But there's the Uniden. I thought I would show it you. It's just another one to the collection. When there's some DX going or what have you, I'll get the video camera out quick and try and film it in action in the future. But there will be another video to follow in the next 4 or 5 days, and I'm quite excited to receive the next one. Now, for people who love boxes, has it got the box, you know? This one's not only got the box, it's got the original receipt, the original instructions, the bracket, what fits on the side of this particular radio has never been put on it. That's in a little bag, brand new still. And it's just like the, well, it looks like the day it came out the shop. In reality, when it does come, of course, it might be a different kettle of fish altogether. Somebody may have put a hot kettle on, teapot, sorry, on top of it and stained it. You don't know, do you, till you receive these things, because people are sometimes strangers to the truth when they want to sell something. But the pictures did look impressive, I'll say that much. I've turned it. Right, part 3 of this video that I didn't intend to do. There is a reason behind it. I'm going to be boring for a moment and talk about my homemade bazooka antenna. Since having it up, I've had some magnificent good distance copies on it for a piece of wire, comparing it to commercially made antennas like Sirio Game Masters, Antrim 99s, brand new Venom silver rod that I've got. I only had it up for 2 weeks, so it's in the garden on its side. Either way, there's a man what comes on occasionally, a friend, a distant friend. His name's Joe. I've never been able to speak to him on a Serio Game Master, an Antrim 99 that's still up on the T&K bracket at the back of the house at the same height as my homemade antenna I'm using at the moment. But I came on tonight to talk to Tim. Tim hasn't come on, he's obviously busy or gone to bed early. Tony's on. This is him speaking now.
But hang on, although it's power line transmission,
Right, that's Tony. I speak to him regular basis on any aerial. But there's another guy who's he's talking to called Joe, who's past Lichfield direction. There's a lot of hills between me and there, and I've always known he's there when he's talking. When he doesn't come on very often, but when he does come on and he's on the channel, usually I can't have any conversation with him whatsoever because of crackling interference, and he only gives me a poor signal, and he hears me most of the time, but I can't hear him ever. Now tonight is the first time I've ever copied him since I've had my Bazooka LTT, whatever it's called, T2. Since I put this aerial up, made of a piece of coax to set measurements that can be found anywhere on the internet. Type in Bazooka antenna on YouTube and you'll find loads of different people explaining how you make one out of a piece of coax. Half wave end fed antenna, and you build a choke, an RF choke at the bottom. Very simple. If I can do it, anybody, well, maybe my wife couldn't do it, but anybody with half a brain. Anyhow, this is the proof of the pudding. That's Tony talking.
it calls in havoc.
Now the other guy's not pushing loads of power, and I will put the other radio on what's on my A99. I'll get that on the same channel, which is channel 38. What frequency is that? 38 27 97125. The 27 97. Right. 12. Now then, turn that up. Right. This is Tony. There's nothing wrong with this radio, and I know there's going to be sceptical people out there what go, oh, there's something wrong with your coax, or oh, they'll have 1,000 reasons. This is Tony talking. It would help if it was on FM. Right, Tony's finished talking. Turn the volume down. Turn the volume up on this Uni-Ace. Now that's Joe. I can hear him perfect. This camera is not going to pick the audio quality up that my ears are. So for once, the first time ever, I can actually speak to him and have a conversation with him on a homemade £6 piece of coax at the same height as what this aerial is, an A99. Like, you can't even hear him on. Now, I've done this test. There's Tony. Now that's on an A99, and here he is on my homemade antenna. Now I've done this test many times in the past before I put the homemade antenna up with a Serio Game Master, couldn't hear Joe, with a brand new half wave high gain silver rod, couldn't hear him, and my A99 that I've had for a few years, there's nothing wrong with it. The SWA's are 1.3 throughout the mid block and the UK Muppet block, couldn't hear him. Know when he's talking because the needle goes up a little bit. Tonight is the first night since I've put this antenna up that he's come on, and that I can actually have. I've actually spoke to him on about five conversations. That's Tony. Don't be fooled by the signal, because I turned the signal meter down on this Lincoln when I got it, because it was 30 plus everything. I think the screwdriver fanatic had been into it. So that's Tony. That's on the A99. Yeah, £3. Forget the signal. The audio quality is very good. This is him on this Uni-Ace that I've acquired tonight off Adrian. Clear as a bell.
When I finished work,
nearly a £7.
And then I used to run
Right.
Wendy into Nuneaton to a place called Treasure Island where we used to do our shopping.
This is him also. When I find out on the switcher box which is the one for this rig, because I should put tape on this to let myself know. Right, there he is on this rig. Right, very crackly. The conditions are not very good tonight because we're in for this storm in a few hours' time. Storm Doris, I think we're calling it. That's very crackly there.
Oh,
There's Tony, clear as a bell.
gobsmacked. You know, this chap was sort of threatening me and this, that, the other, wrecking me.
Right, that's him on the Lincoln, on an A99. You can still hear him. But it's not Tony, as I say, I can hear Tony on any aerial. It's basically thrown the light on my homemade antenna. It really is very good. Giving it some stick.